Hi, this is Jason DeSalvo and Joey Lauricella from Fodera Guitars here in Brooklyn, New York. And today we're at ShapeShifter Lab to talk to you about the Emperor 5 Standard Fretless. We released the Emperor 5 Standard Fretless at the NAMM show earlier this year in 2014, and we designed it to give you an all-around excellent 5-string fretless that you can use on any gig.
This bass differs from our other standards with this features a one-piece quarter-sawn red oak neck. It has a three-piece body, three-piece walnut body with an ash center. Book matched claret walnut top and 2 humbucking pickups.
So as Joey was mentioning, we use some woods that we don't normally use or frequently use, and one of the things here is obviously the red oak neck. That's something that gives a real interesting tonal character to the instrument that Joey will talk about in a second. The other thing I want to point out is this 3-piece body. We used a 3-piece body as opposed to an all-walnut body, which is what we do on our 4-string fretless, because the swamp ash block here saves weight. So we get 95% of the tonal character that we want from the walnut, but we save somewhere between 1/2 and 3/4 of a pound weight-wise, which we thought was important for a pro player instrument. Now, in terms of fingerboard, we use ebony. And the reason we use ebony is it's got great tone, but it also is very durable. And as a fretless fingerboard, where you may use, as we have on this, round wound strings, you want a material that's not too soft. And so that's one of the other reasons that we went with that. But the overall blend of a walnut body, oak neck, ebony fingerboard is something that we really love for fretless here at Fodera.
Yeah, the instrument really sings. The oak, having the oak neck gives it a lot of growl. The instrument growls, when you want to get that really nice fretless tone when you're soloing, the notes just they kind of like just really sing out. And you can play the bass passive. The bass sounds great passive. And then when you go into the electronics and start using the electronics enhance it even more.
Very versatile fretless player. Lots of moi, as we talk about in fretless.
The electronics here in this Emperor 5 fretless are, it's a Fodera Pro preamp. You feature a master volume, an active passive tone roll-off, pan pot, active treble, bass, and mid-range cut and boost, an active passive switch, and a coil tap switch. In the down position, it puts the bass in humbucking mode, which puts both coils on of each pickup. When you put the switch up, it shuts off the middle coils and the outside coils work for a totally different sound. And the pickups are Fodera dual coils in here also.
So some of the things about the way this bass is built, it's built on a 34-inch scale length. It has the equivalent of 24 positions. This particular one is unlined. Typically, we build most of them with lines. It's available both ways when you order it, but obviously this one's unlined. The bridge here is a 19 millimeter spacing at the bridge. It's 19 millimeters center to center. And then on the back, we use a bolt-on because we really like the tone that the bolt-on build imparts on the fretless. I think one of the other things to note is that the bridge, the preamp, the pickups, these are all proprietary Fodera parts. So they're designed by us in conjunction with other people like Mike Pope and the people that we work with on the pickups. And they're exclusively available on Fodera instruments. The other thing is that the Fodera standard line of instruments, although it's quote-unquote a standard line, they're 100% built in Brooklyn, in our shop, in exactly the same way and by the same people that craft our custom shop instruments. So you're not getting a defeatured instrument. You're just getting an instrument that has one set of specifications, but built in exactly the same way as our high-end custom line is. We hope that you enjoy the Emperor 5 Standard Fretless as much as we enjoy building it, and we really appreciate you checking us out here on Fodera.com, and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Tom Kennedy, and I'm introducing to you the Emperor 5 Standard Fretless bass by Fodera. And another incredible instrument by the Fodera folks. I'm so happy to see this, a fretless bass in a 5-string by these guys. They've had the 4 out for quite a while. This is something new, and it's just fabulous. And I've been playing it for a little while now, and incredible, sound throughout the ranges. It's, has a great nice sustained sound, and also very functional bass. You can play this for anything. In any kind of situation. So I'm just going to give you a couple of examples here. This is just kind of the standard, back pickup, fretless kind of sound that's, pretty standard on recordings and so on. And this particular setting is both coils on the back pickup here. So if I take away the top coil and just use the bottom, it's a little bit of a brighter kind of thing. Amazing sustain on this bass. So, part of the fretless, what's beautiful about the fretless bass is that you can have all of that character in the back pickup sound, but if you go to the middle setting, which is more of just the functional bass playing type of setting, it's very versatile that way too. So you can do any bass line you can do with fretted bass on fretless. So. Okay, so now I have that set with both coils on the top pickup and the bottom pickup. So if I just go to these 2 coils, I even get more of kind of a jazz bass type sound. Okay, and then the last thing for me, and I love doing this, especially with fretless bass, is to use just the top pickup because get a ton of sustain, and it really brings out the fretless fingerboard that much more for a lot of the things that I do. So if I'm walking a bass line, very, very good for that. So it almost kind of emulates an acoustic sound. And then if I go into single coil, I even get a little bit more of that, a little more punch. And that's the Emperor 5 standard fretless bass from Fodera.